sex affects relationships. I want to show now how sex can affect the growth of relationships. I have my handy little high-tech relationship chart here, and take a look at that. So this is a chart on intimacy. High intimacy is where you know someone really well, and in relationships we all start out down here, we don't know the person at all. And so emotional intimacy takes a while to start to grow, to really get to know the person deep down below the surface, like you would know, say, a little brother or older sister. You know how they are when nobody's looking. You know about their temper that the people out there in the world don't know about. And so it takes a while to really get to know someone deep down below the surface. Social intimacy, maybe that grows a little faster, figuring out if you like doing the same stuff with the same kind of friends. Intellectual, let's say they are not talking about string theories in physics and global warming and stuff like that. And then you have the spiritual. Let's say they're not talking about those great metaphysical questions of life, like why am I here and what happens when I die? And then you come to the physical, and where am I going here? Right, all the way up, yes. They're doing everything, sexual intercourse and beyond. So all this physical stuff, this could be pleasurable, nobody's arguing, but is this a healthy relationship? No. What's wrong with it? Out of balance, I heard. Yeah, out of balance. All physical, they don't know each other very well. What might happen to the rate of growth in all these really important areas when sex becomes the big deal focus? Yeah, they're going down. That's what I hear in every high school class I've spoken in. They're going down. And when I did my surveys with 46 college students, 45 of 46 said they're going down to that question. When the physical becomes the focus, these go down. And so many people have told me, like, we had this friendship, which was really awesome, and we were really connecting, and that's why we started dating to start with. And then once we had sex, it seems like the friendship went out the window because it seemed to be all about the physical. I hear that so much. And so many people think, oh, but I love this person, and if we have sex, it'll cement the bond. It'll be true love forever. You're right. I don't even want to talk about that. But, yeah, so often the sex, the focus there, these are going down. And they're left with just this physical connection relationship. Is it going to last too long? No. If it's all about sex, I mean, somebody might say, hey, I wonder what it's like with that person. If it's all about sex, they'll move on. So, as this one senior at a high school locally said, he said, you know, it's like if you're building a really big building. To start with the roof first would be crazy. You kind of have to build a foundation and walls and all and put the roof on last. He said sex first is like trying to build the roof before anything is under it for the relationship. I thought that really made a lot of sense. This one college student that was with me last spring for some talks, his name's Brendan. He's a real huge guy, and he's a senior in college now. And he was saying to these high school students that, I forgot what school, maybe Delaney, Hereford, but he was saying, my girlfriend Sarah, we've been going out for 3 years. We've never had sex. We're both still virgins, and I'm okay with that. He said, but you know, I can look at her and figure if we get married one day, sex would be a good deal. But he said, I can't look at her and see who she is in her heart and in her soul and in her mind. And that's what I want to fall in love with, because 50 years from now, her body won't be quite so pretty, and I still want to be in love with her. So my goal right now in this dating thing is to get to know who she is here and in her heart. And I thought, wow, this guy is amazingly smart for a young guy. But also, let me ask you, do you think he's a weak person? I mean, he's a virgin. Doesn't that mean he's not a man or what? No, he's not weak. He's one of the strongest guys I've met. Strong guy. Because I'll tell you what, when every cell in his body as a male is screaming out, jump on her, she's so pretty, and you're saying, hold on, buddy, you wait, because respect her and protect her and love her in a real way first. That's a lot of strength. So it's something to think about. Now, I do want to say there is an emotional component to sex. Let's face it. People get this warm feeling, and what's that all about? Why is it this girl that might be dating a guy for a couple months maybe, not know him all that well, a little bit of an emotional attachment, but not all that deep. They cross that line and have sex, and all of a sudden she's like, you're mine. You can't leave me. Something's happening there emotionally, sexually. Something's going on. Well, there is an emotional component, but I would describe it as being chemically based. See, there's the emotional connection you get with someone through a long-term friendship. Like I said, where you really get to know them deep down below the surface. You know how they're going to react in a whole lot of situations. You know how they're going to treat people when they're angry, when they're tired, when they're all those things. You're going to get to a sense of who they are. That's the kind of emotional connection from knowing them. But then there's the emotional warmth towards someone. Like if somebody comes up behind you and just starts giving you a great massage, you're like, ooh, that feels so good. I love this person. Who is this person? I really like them because I feel so good. That is chemically based. See, when people have sex, there's chemicals released in the brain, some of the pleasure chemicals, that make you want to stay with that person and make you want to trust the person. Oxytocin, if you look it up, it's a neuropeptide. It's a brain chemical, a hormone that's referred to as the cuddle hormone, the bonding hormone, the attachment hormone, the trust hormone, all these things. And it's released when people have sex. And for young ladies, it's released during sexual stimulation, during childbirth, and also during nursing of the infant. All of those are bonding events. In fact, oxytocin seems to exist only in other critters that mate for life. Well, humans have it. Go figure. So this chemical is released in the brain, and the couple does the sexual connection there, and somebody's all of a sudden feeling like, oh, stay with me. I want to attach. I want to bond. But they're wanting to bond with somebody they don't even know. That could be dangerous. That sets somebody up for a lot of pain because they're thinking we're bonded, but they're bonded to somebody they don't know. And in fact, in a way, the chemical close feeling has counterfeited the real emotional knowing, and so it sets them up for major problems. Now, there is some studies that suggest that as a person attempts to bond and it tears apart, and they attempt to bond again and it tears apart, pretty soon the body starts sending out less of the oxytocin. There's less of the bondability. It would be like if you took a piece of duct tape and stuck it on my arm and ripped it off. I forgot to bring duct tape. I'm sorry. But anyway, you tear it off. There's some pain, first of all, but there's also some like stuff on the tape and all. And now it's like less sticky, and you do it again, and it's a little less sticky. That's a problem. So, just wanted to get into that. I know it's kind of deep stuff, this chemical stuff and all, but it does help to explain that there is an emotional component. Now, when that oxytocin, that chemical bonding thing happens with a couple that's already got high levels of relational closeness and intimacy, then it enhances all that. If it comes before all this, it can work against it.